Hello everyone, Digfig here and welcome. In this Borderlands 3 item overview video, we are going to be going over the Hive, a legendary heavy weapon. For those that are picky, a rocket launcher. Now, the red text here says, full of bees, and what is this a reference to? I don't actually know. I think it's a reference to the gun itself and the mechanic it works. If it's from something else, please let us know in the comments. Now, what does this actually do for this weapon? Well, this thing shoots out a sphere that looks like a little metallic hive. It's got a rocket thruster stuck to the end of it. It's kind of cool. Pretty slow moving though. And when that hits an enemy or a target, it starts to travel slowly upwards while shooting out smaller homing rockets that fly around and try and find targets to hit. Everything does time out here. If the rockets fly too far without hitting something, they will just explode in place. I did try and count the rockets a few times, and I think it's 16 rockets it shoots before it times out. So obviously if you have a ×2 or you have extra projectile things, it'll do twice that. It does consume 4 ammo per shot, so you can get 2 shots off per magazine, unless of course you have some way to regenerate ammo. And now for how the gun looks. I mean, it's big, it's yellow, it's a torque. It looks pretty normalish for them. Nothing particularly special. I think they could have done a better job customizing some of the legendaries to be more like they could put like some beehive stuff on here, something interesting, some of the animation. I don't know, but it is what it is. So now let's get into my thoughts and overview of this thing. I really like this gun, and if it wasn't for the lob, I would argue that this is the most powerful rocket launcher in the game. But the lob does exist. It's kind of problematic. I will say that it is much slower than the lob. The target acquisition, the DPS ramp up, everything is significantly slower than, say, the lob. I'm going to be comparing this a lot to the lob because I think it's the best comparison to it as far as like laziness and like not really having to try very hard to kill things with it. Let's just pop that thing down there. I'm gonna alt tab real quick because my sound's way too loud, and we're gonna turn that down while you guys can watch these things fly over and murder everything. Just like all the other smart weapons in this game currently, they do not target skulls, so that's kind of a problem. Let's see this thing do a direct hit. Boom. And as you guys can see, if you do hit something directly in the face with this, it does no damage whatsoever. It still just wants to shoot all the rockets around. Now, I do have some Mayhem 3 gameplay of this down below, and it was incredibly lazy and easy to beat the mobs with. It's one of my favorite weapons now, to be totally honest. I prefer it on my modes and stuff because of our ammo regen, and it's just, they took away my lazy hex builds, and this and the lob kind of replaced it. This is even lazier than the lob. You really don't have to aim this thing at all. You just kind of shoot it on the ground and you laugh as things die around you. Thanks for the freezing skull, I really do appreciate it. Darn fear mechanics. We'll use one whole rocket on this spawn, why not? But you guys can see here that sometimes these things act really weird and they don't accurately home in on enemies, and they just take a really long time to really ramp all the way up to like where you feel like you're doing enough damage. And with the fear mechanic going on and stuff, the fact that it doesn't target skulls, and if you're gonna use this as your primary weapon in your build, it's kind of a pain in the ass because there's honestly no way to damage them with this. I think it's a major oversight by the devs and the whole mechanic of not making the smart weapons track onto them. I did test it versus some flying enemies and it does track them, so it's really just the skulls for whatever reason. But you guys can see here that not many guns I've ever had or brought in here are able to one-shot entire spawns like that. The lob is one of the only other guns I was able to bring in here, and you literally use a single round to blow up all the enemies. I think a lot of the rocket launchers in this game or heavy weapons are super underwhelming, and like this and the lob might be like some of the only two that really feel like they probably should, because like they have some major drawbacks with the reload speed, the ramp up time, and all that stuff. And but anyways, guys, my super short overview of all this is I love the gun. It's really fun to use for me. It's a super lazy way to play, which I really like. I spend way too many hours playing to try hard nonstop. You can just kind of fire and forget this thing. If you're on a character with really good ammo regen, or your digi clone or whatever that doesn't actually use your ammo, you guys can just shoot this thing all day long, and it's just crazy damage. It ramps up, obviously, the more enemies are on the scheme, and the easier it is for the rockets to hit. But it does have some drawbacks with the ammo consumption and being a little bit slow, so you might have to be a little bit min-max to actually like fully utilize this thing. But it is one of the easiest guns I've done Circle of Slaughter with, so it's got that going for it. Now, if you're looking to get one of these things for yourself, it's actually a targetable drop, and it drops over here on Pandora in the Splinterlands, right where my waypoint is, right where my character actually is. And it's called Princess Taranatella 2. I think I got it right. I probably butchered the name. By the way, it is this giant freaking bug here. You can just come kill her, and she has a chance to drop it. And I wish you guys luck. She is a bastard for me. She like doesn't spawn 99% of the time. It's really, really obnoxious, and I hope you guys have better luck than I do with the rare spawns. But anyways, guys, I really do appreciate all the support, and thank you for stopping by. And if you like this video, appearing above me here shortly, there should be a whole bunch of videos just like this one. And if you like some of those, think about liking, subscribing, commenting, hitting that notification bell, watching all my content front to back to really help my analytics. And I will see you guys in the next video. Digfig, yeah?